if the sun goes down on you, you gotta keep that shine on top, yeah. On top, yeah. On top.
Good morning, everyone. I'll be assessing a drawing done by Bevan Alcock. It's done in charcoal and concept crayon on newsprint. The work focuses on the torso of a female model. You can see there's it includes from below the neck to right above the vagina. The model was sitting on a chair with her hand above her head and her other hand on her thigh. And the position is very relaxed. In terms of lighting, there was a harsh contrast created by the studio light, and the background was kind of dark. The chair was also dark, the chair that she was sitting on. Her breasts and vagina was covered with plastic wrap that created a sort of the effect of underwear. And in this work, the materials are represented with the mediums used. There's a lot of curved lines in the composition that represent the female model well, because her body is naturally curved and because the lower part was closer to the viewer than the upper part. There's a slight amount of foreshortening happening there. In terms of texture, there's you can feel that soft visual texture here on the model's stomach area and also on her breast and upper body. In terms of the plastic wrap, I think that it looks a little too soft. It could have been more. In reality, the plastic wrap tends to be a little more, it has more crinkles and folds that aren't really represented here. You can see for color, there's that red or red-brown contact crayon, and it's used, I think, for like an under drawing or to begin the construction process. So it's more functional, but it could have been used, in my opinion, it could have been used to accentuate or highlight focal points in the work. And I don't think it was used for that, but it could have been more effective in the work. The focus really, you can see, was on this midsection, and I think it's a good area to focus on because the way the composition was done, there isn't a lot of negative space to distract from that focal point. And even with things like the hand and so on that could have been distracting, a lot of emphasis wasn't placed on them, so it's not distracting from the central area. I think that in terms of value, the values appear to be soft, and I think in reality they were a little more harsh and contrasting, but it still creates that illusion of three-dimensionality that that's one of the objectives in our classes. The main objective of this class was to focus on texture, or have texture be the dominant element in the work, and I think while texture is represented here, I wouldn't say it's dominant because one, the values to me jump out first as the dominant element, and also with the use of that red-brown crayon, that kind of distracts from the textural aspect. I think if you use just monochromatic work, achromatic work, it could have been more, the viewer would be able to look more at the texture than other things in the work. But overall, I think the work is successful. I think that the objectives like proportion and correct proportion and three-dimensionality were all satisfied in the work. and just a few minor things that could be fixed in future works, like the capturing that feel of the plastic in being different from the skin, and the use of colored mediums in the work more effectively or more intentionally. But as I said, it's a successful piece of art, and I think it's a good job. Thank you.